Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome to Sit Down. I'm DJ Sixsmith. Kelly Jenrette here with us. Manhunt, Deadly Games on CBS. Kelly, how are you?
I am doing well. Thank you for having me. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. I mean, all things considered, it's a crazy time, but what I keep
No,
saying is that I'm really happy there's great content to watch, and this show certainly falls in that category. So what's it
awesome.
been like jumping into this experience so far?
Oh, I I went to school to be a forensic psychologist, and then I saw all of the science classes I had to take, and I was like, nah, I think I'd much rather play one on TV. So when this FBI role came around, I was excited, and the icing on the cake was that it was covering the 1996 Olympic bombing at Centennial Olympic Park in Atlanta, Georgia, where I was born and raised. So it's like, okay, this is amazing. I get to participate in two of the things that mean a lot to me. So it was amazing to be a part of the process.
Do you remember where you were when all this went down with the 96 Olympics?
I don't remember exactly where I was, but I do have a picture of standing with my mom. She was holding the Olympic torch because they did the torch run not too far from where we lived, or we were able to go there. I don't know, I can't remember. And my brother was actually a part of the opening and closing ceremonies. Yeah, they reached out to his performing arts high school and said, we just need some dancers. And so he was a part of that. But we were not at Centennial Olympic Park that night, thankfully.
It's pretty crazy to think just what happened all these years later and how important it is to revisit it all these years later. So why do you think now is a really important time to dive back into it? Because in some ways, a lot of people remember this, and in some other ways, it's just kind of been forgotten, which is crazy to think about.
Yeah, I think with what's happening with the media and, we have the fake news over here. No, this is really what happened. I think it's a wonderful opportunity to kind of revisit the past and to remind ourselves of the mistakes that were made in the past with the Richard Jewell case, and how, yes, there were things that lined up and things that looked a little sketchy, but I think the media just took it and ran with it. There's this idea of sensationalism and wanting to be the first to get the story and tell it no matter what. And so I think now that's kind of where we still are, in society. And so to be able to tell this story of this hero who was turned to a villain who was actually a hero is such a beautiful story, and tragic and heartbreaking in its own way as well.
A lot of different layers journalistically, certainly from a law enforcement perspective. So you play an FBI agent in Staci Knox. What was it like learning about her and just playing an FBI agent in general?
It was amazing. My father is a retired police officer, so I gleaned a lot of information from him, and just growing up and kind of seeing how he interacted with people, with us, even as his family members. And so doing the research into, because Staci Knox is not a real character during that time, she's kind of like, a compilation of characters during that time. And so just being able to do the research and understand what it was like, not only for a Black person in the FBI in the 90s, but for a female Black FBI agent in the 90s, was pretty challenging. There was a lawsuit that the Black FBI agents had filed, and so it was just, all of that was kind of layered into my character as well. And just being able to have fun with her. People say that she's mean. I don't think she's mean. She just did her job, That's it.
That's really interesting because it's a certain way that women have been portrayed on TV, and especially Black women too, that just automatically assume that somebody's angry when it's just you just doing your job, right? If that's me and I'm playing that role, like, it's perceived totally differently. So what's it been like kind of unpacking all the comments that you've seen from this?
Well, one, I think just allowing people to speak, and allowing people, I think a lot of times people just want to be heard. They just want to be seen. And so giving them that opportunity, but also inviting them to see the other side of it. Like you said, if it were you, it wouldn't be seen as angry. And so let's unpack, why is it that now I'm seen as an angry Black woman? Is it because I'm Black? and I'm angry, and that's the stereotype that we choose to lean into. So I think that's the thing for me, just inviting people to see the other side as I am willing to see their side as well.
Definitely. So you've done great work with this show. You also popped on The Handmaid's Tale, which is one of my favorite shows. So what was the coolest part of that experience, just for that little run that you had?
Getting to work with Elizabeth Moss. You know, I remember she came on, we were kind of talking through the scene, and she came on and she was like, "Hi, it's so good to see you. I'm so happy that you're here. Thank you for being here." And I'm like, "You're thanking me for being here? No, thank you for having me." You know, so just being able to work with her and OT, who plays Luke, they were such a warm and welcoming cast. And despite the show being so dark and so heavy, everybody was very light, which you have to be, you know, living in that world. Gilead, it's pretty heavy, but everybody was amazing.
Well, Kelly, you do great work. It's really nice to meet you. Thanks so much for jumping on, and best luck with everything going forward, all right?
Thank you, DJ Sixsmith. I appreciate it.